If you are aiming for roles like AI architect, AI ML engineer, data scientist, or generative AI engineer, or even preparing for AWS certifications, you need to understand how AI is built on AWS. Now, here's the cool part. AWS gives you two parts. You can build custom models with tools like Amazon SageMaker or use foundational models through Amazon Bedrock. Or you can leverage pre-built AI services like Amazon Translate and Amazon Comprehend, which make it super simple to add AI into your applications without starting from scratch. Now, as an AI professional, especially if you are in an architect or implementation role, knowing when to use pre-built services versus building your own AI is absolutely critical. And that's exactly why in this video, we will focus on Translate and Comprehend, two powerful pre-built services. With Translate, you can instantly translate text across multiple languages. With Comprehend, you can analyze text for sentiment, detect entities like personal data, and even identify the language. We will walk you through both step by step so you can start applying them in your projects right away. And before we dive in, this video is part of our AWS AI/ML job-oriented training. We have already helped learners like Shrija, Utkarsh, and Malaya land their dream jobs. And one more thing, we are hosting a free masterclass on generative AI and ML on AWS Cloud. In it, we cover everything about AI and ML, including managed AI applications like Translate and Comprehend. We'll also get a clear roadmap, tips on how to earn certifications, and a proven 3-step framework that's helped countless learners crack interviews and land high-paying roles. So make sure you register through the link given in the description below. So let's get started.
First one is going to be NLP, natural language processing. What hits your mind when it comes to NLP, natural language processing? Anything that has to do with processing text and understanding the language and the intent behind um, what is the given input, what exactly is processed, given in this particular text and whatnot, right? Text processing is just perfect there, right? NLP also dwells into something like voice inputs as well, but in the hindsight, it's converted to text before it can do the NLP side of things. A very good standard example is sentiment analysis. That is one of the top use cases of NLP, right? Sentiment analysis is nothing but reading reviews of a restaurant and classifying that between, is it a positive review, is it a mixed review, is it a negative review? So that's sentiment analysis, right? That is one of the very strong use cases. Let's look at NLP, right? Let's go for, I want you folks to just make notes. Again, I don't want you to learn all of this by heart, right? I don't want you to remember things. I want you to understand things that you can have that logical comprehension, saying, hey, if someone asks you about that concept, it should be a logical explanation, right? I don't want you to just remember things for the sake of it. Amazon Comprehend is the go-to service for natural language processing. Let me just show you how that works primarily, right? Just move this out of the way. And all right, real-time analysis, right? I'm just gonna show you a bunch of things that falls under the bracket of NLP, natural language processing. Here is a sample, I would say a paragraph of text which says, hello Zangwi, I'm John, your company so-and-so with a credit card account so-and-so has a minimum payment of this that is due by July 31st. Based on your so-and-so settings, blah, 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 customer feedback for this particular address, send comments to this. Here we have a bunch of things here, right? I mean, it's a paragraph. I want to analyze this paragraph. The first thing that I want to do is identify all the entities that are present out here. This is another term. Whatever you see here are certain terms that you'll often come across when you're having conversations on AI, ML, Gen AI, right? So I would definitely encourage you to kind of remember these and also understand what they mean, right? Entities. What does entities mean? Entity could be, in terms of NLP, right? Entity could be something like a name of a person, name of an organization, a date, quantity, email address, right? These are all entities, right? For instance, let's say for a given paragraph, I want to detect all the entities. I can just make a call to comprehend and get all these details. So I just passed this particular text, right? I could also mention something like, hello, Michael, I'm John, right? I'm just going to mention, I'm just replacing and showing you how that works in the real time, right? I just mentioned, instead of Zangbi, I just mentioned Michael. It says, hello, Michael, I'm John, and so on. If you look at this, Michael is now detected as a person with a confidence of 99%, right? This confidence score that you're seeing here ranges from 0 to 1. The closer it's to 1, it means that the model is highly confident that that's actually right, right? So it's very confident that what it has predicted is right. Michael, John, name of people has been detected with a very high confidence. Any company financial services has been detected as an organization. We have July 31st that has been detected as date. We have certain other criteria that has detected as other entities. Sunshine Spies, another organization, 123 Main Street location, right? So these are all the entities that are getting detected. Let's dive deep a bit more. Key phrases, right? Where would key phrases be used? I want to identify key phrases out of a given input. Where would that ideally come to use for me? Search engine, yeah. There's no one correct answer, by the way. Again, hundreds of possibilities, right? Just want all of you to just take a dig at it, right? Meta tags, yes. Key phrases. Key phrases is nothing but one very strong use case I would recommend is summarization, right? For instance, I want to cut down this entire paragraph into a smaller paragraph, but it should capture all the context that I'm providing here, right? So I need to, what am I necessarily doing? I'm summarizing while maintaining the context, meaning to say I'm keeping the key phrases intact while still summarizing, right? So this is basically again identifying what are the key phrases here, removing the filling words or the filler words we call them, right? So just remove them and then keep the key phrases intact, right? Next, language detection, right? So more often than what happens is, let's say I have built a website and I want to make it personalized for my end user. For example, if I have a visitor from Spain, right? I want the website content to be in Spanish. If at all, I want this particular, I have again a visitor from Italy. I want the text to be in Italian, right? Or anyone from UK or US, I just want the text to be in English, right? Basically, the hyper personalization I'm talking about. Now, the solution that I built should be able to comprehend both the things. One is translate the text from one source language to another. Before doing that, because this is all dynamic content, I want the model to have the capability to even come up with a result saying this is a certain language, the language detection side of things, right? That is exactly what's happening here. Amazon Comprehend says this is English with 99% confidence. Let's just get a Spanish text, right? Okay, let me actually show you another service which can work hand in hand with Comprehend here. That is called Translate. And as the name suggests, what exactly will Translate do? If you guessed it right, yeah, it does text translation, right? I'm just gonna do, yeah, let me just keep this at auto, and I'm gonna convert this to Spanish. I'm gonna ask, hi, how are you? All right. And what exactly did I do here? I just kept it at auto, right? It automatically detected the language to be English. I'm just gonna zoom in a bit. Automatically detected the language to be English, and this translated the text to Spanish in real time, right? Hola, ¿cómo estás? I hope I pronounced it right, but all right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it to comprehend and see if it can detect it right. Just give me a minute. Let's copy this, come back here, analyze. Yeah, you can look at this detection of the text to be in Spanish with 99% confidence, right? And all of this, I mean, if you think about, hey, how complex is this to plug in? I understand it's all looks all very pretty on AWS console. How complex is it to make a call to this API and get a response, right? So there's the payload that you're sending, and there's the response that you get in terms of JSON or what we call as a block response. And each of them have its own documentation as well, right? You can look at the code samples, directly tags you along to again your. Let me just actually show that detect dominant language. Yeah, there's this there's the API reference for using this particular API that we just used to detect the dominant language in the input text. And you can get the code examples and samples as well. If you want to use .NET, Python, JavaScript, PHP, whatnot, you can always look at the SDK documentation and then you can integrate that with your end user application, right? And what other things can it do? I'm just gonna refresh this so that the older text comes back because that's a very good example for certain other things like, this is one another thing I think you would have already encountered this called PII, personally identifiable information. and you also come across something called as PHI, personal health information, right? So any personal identifiable information, health information, most of the scenarios where you have to attain certain compliance, you need to either mask it or redact it and whatnot, right? There you need to detect the entities in the first place to even redact or mask them. Redact is nothing but totally remove it. Mask is nothing but replace it with star, 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 or any other characters. How you would redact password when you're typing in passwords, all of them are in stars, right? That is nothing but masking. Redacting is totally removing it out of it, right? So there are certain domains like fintechs, who are in the finance space, and health techs, right? Healthcare and life sciences organizations. They are bound by very strict regulations that they can't disclose PI data, PHI data, on how they can handle this data and so on. For them, it's super important. So this detects the PI data for you, the name of the person, credit card numbers, date, time, bank account numbers, bank routing details, and whatnot. It can detect that for you. Coming to the sentiment analysis, let me type in a good example for sentiment analysis. Let me just say I love the food here. Oops. Yeah. I love the food here. Positive with 99% confidence, right? So that is sentiment analysis for you. If I want to give a mixed opinion, right? I could just say ambience could be improved. So what exactly am I saying? I love one thing. If I just say like, that's going to reduce the positivity, right? Right now, I say I love the food, but the ambience could be improved, right? Because I am using a very strong term like love. It says 73% confident that it's positive. But if I just say I like the food here, but ambience could be improved, now the positive confidence score has dropped to 54% and mixed is 44%, right? Uh, if I rephrase it to the food is okay here and ambience could be improved, 10% confidence and mixed is 87%, right? That's basically in real time. You can see within a couple of seconds, I'm getting this sentiment analysis done in real time, right? And finally, you have segregating nouns, pronouns, adverbs, punctuation, and whatnot. Even that can be done using comprehend.
And that's a wrap. Now you know how AWS Translate breaks language barriers and how AWS Comprehend extracts insights from text while keeping data secure. Now, if you found this helpful, join our free masterclass on mastering generative AI/ML on AWS Cloud that I mentioned earlier, where you will get a clear roadmap, tips on how to earn certification, and a proven 3-step framework that's helped countless learners crack interviews and land high-paying roles. The link is in the description below. And if you like the video, make sure that you subscribe for more such content. And definitely check out this video next.